and I wanted to share with you some brand new screenshots from Diablo 3 that have been released. These screenshots only popped up a few days ago. There's some new content with it for sure, some exciting new features that we sort of get a sneak peek at. I just wanted to share them with you guys today. Let's jump right in. Here we have the available skills tab. You can see a couple of skills available from Tree A, Tree B, Tree C. So those are your different skill tabs. And I guess the skills that this particular character has chosen to go with. These are, you have 6 available slots for active skills, and you have passive skills as well. So apparently these are the 6 that this monk has chosen, as we see him in what looks to be like sort of a desert village, just like in Act 2 of Diablo 2. And this here, one of my favorite screenshots, we actually get to see the login page for Diablo 3. I suppose this was what the beta testers have been looking at, you know, in those different media events. And I'm wondering if Blizzard's actually going to choose to sort of keep this same layout with a castle in the background for the actual beta release or the launch. We'll have to wait and see. This here is a part of your inventory in Diablo 3. This is actually just a very zoomed up piece of your inventory. You have the Cauldron of Jordan right here. This tab is used to take any items that you find in Diablo 3 and turn them into gold immediately, making your life a lot easier. You don't have to travel back to town to sell off your items for gold. The Herodric Cube now is used to break down items into crafting goods, and I believe this is the Stone of Recall, which will actually warp you back to town, so you don't have to worry about town portals anymore. Here we get to see the layout of the Battle.net Friends list. Here we get to see the inventory and character tab for a female monk. We can see you got strength, dexterity, vitality, and willpower. This has actually changed quite a bit. There's no more dex. I think they now call it precision, and I think willpower was changed as well. At the same time, there's no longer stat points you allocate here. So this could be a bit of an older screenshot, but it is a female monk, and you can see just the inventory and the claws they've got equipped, all the different equipment options here. This low-res shot actually shows you an item you can find, Page of Knowledge. It seems like you can accumulate pages of knowledge, and you can combine them into a tome of knowledge that can then be used to help sort of NPCs give you better crafted items. Here we get to see the new waypoint system in Diablo 3. They've got your current location, which here is a Cemetery of the Forsaken, and then you got the Tristram, the Cathedral, you know, some other options. So I believe this is just how the waypoints are set up in D3. This is a pretty cool shot where you actually get to see how the trading menus look in Diablo 3. You have the vendor's basically inventory here. This is the buyback tab, so you actually have the option to buy back anything you've sold to the vendor recently. At the same time, you see an equipped bow of this demon hunter. It's a magic crossbow. You can barely read it, but it says I believe like 2 to 5 or 3 to 5 holy damage, which is cool. That's a new attribute in Diablo 3. There was no holy damage in D2. These are just some of the settings here. I think it makes sense that the enemy health bars are only going to be displayed once they're injured. You know, if you don't see a health bar on an enemy, it has full health. Makes sense. Here's a shot of a new item in D3, an elixir. You can use elixirs to enhance your combat abilities. In this case, defensive combat abilities. Regenerates 1 life per second, plus 5 to defense, plus 5 vitality, and it lasts 300 seconds. So you're actually going to have these potions in D3 that, you know, improve your fighter in your character in one of many different ways, and it lasts, you know, for an allotted amount of time. You know, you take it right before you go into battle. Now, I believe this is an older screenshot of what used to be, you know, your skills tab, your traits tab as well. Traits have been completely removed from the game, and my understanding is that they've been replaced in large part with passive skills. And at the same time, it says skill points available 1 to put in to the skill tree here, but there are no skill points anymore, as I announced and mentioned in my last video. Here we've got your inventory of the wizard. You have so much diversity with equipping your character in Diablo 3. And then in this case, for the wizard, you have one place for a staff, and your second hand is going to be using an orb. So these orbs are going to be, I guess, equivalent to like a wizard shield, and you're going to have all kinds of magical attributes there too. You got boots on and rings as well. And this, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you've got your Cauldron of Jordan, Herodric Cube, and Stone of Recall, along with your gold listed at the bottom. This was a screenshot unveiled at last week's media event. This is going to be what you have at the starting point of town. In any game that you join, you've got your crest and your sort of shrine here. So your shrine is going to be decorated dependent on your achievements. As you can see here, a veteran of many versus battles. That's the crest that we see up top. Your achievement tally down this skull here with different notches on it. This guy's got 5 notches. Completed nightmare difficulty gives you this yellow Diablo logo in the middle. I'm wondering how ferocious Diablo gets when you defeat him in hell or inferno mode. And then this sort of pile of bones and gore is just illustrating that this particular monk is a hardcore player. Pretty sick. So this is similar to what we saw earlier. This is a page of training combined to form a tome of training that is used by blacksmiths, mystics, and jewelers to train their skills. So you're going to be able to craft and create better items or jewels the more you sort of upgrade and level up these NPCs in town using pages or tomes of training. This is an in-game action shot, and I believe this is a female barbarian. This is just showing you ground stomp, rank 2 of 5. Shakes the ground, stunning all enemies within 15 feet for 3.5 seconds with a 15-second cooldown. I'm really intrigued by it saying rank 2 of 5. I'm wondering if that is still present in Diablo, or if that had more to do with the skill point system that has now been removed. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I also want to note on the side here, as players enter the game, it says the minions of hell grow stronger, just like in Diablo 2. Pretty classic. This just shows the friends lists and BattleNet functionality between the different games. In this case, you got a friend and playing World of Warcraft. You can still talk with them, communicate. This just shows us how items are laid out a little differently in Diablo 3. As you can see, this bewitched short spear is selected in the inventory. So you've basically got the item that you are highlighting to the right here, and then what is actually equipped, in this case the polished club of moonlight. So that's what is actually equipped at this time on the left, and then what's in your inventory on the right. So once again, this is your box or cube used to break down items for crafting materials. So you can actually hold control and pick up items to place them directly into the box, break them down for crafting materials without having to go back to town or interrupting the action at all. Character selection screen. This just shows how you can place items in the cube and make them into scrap material. So you can place items, I guess, in these different boxes and then break them down into scrap, so it doesn't take up as much inventory space. I believe this is the stats page, more accurate to how it is at this stage of Diablo 3. So I'm pretty sure this is a new shot where you do not actually put points into attack, precision, defense, or vitality. These stats increase as you level up, and then of course you have items and equipment that's going to give you stat bonuses as well. So in this case, having 10 points of attack increases all damage by 10%. Having 11 points in precision gives you a 3 2/3 chance of critical hit. 9 points into defense, all damage reduced by 25%, and then vitality at 9 points is going to give you 76 life in this scenario for this character. So this is the shot that actually probably should have been a few slides earlier. So this is sort of the before shot, before salvaging these various pieces of armor, shield, sword, breaking them down into gold. So this is the before shot. So I guess this is the cauldron then, because my understanding is that the cauldron of Jordan breaks items down to gold, and then the cube for salvageable materials. So we're just getting a shot of a couple of these new systems and sort of how they work. Just a glimpse at all the custom equipment. You can apparently go basically every color of the rainbow for any piece of equipment. It's pretty cool how unique each and every character is going to look. Here we have the local map, a little different from the mini map. You can actually pull this up in game. Wow, there are a lot more gems in Diablo 3 than there ever were in Diablo 2. You've got chip, flawed, normal, flawless, radiant, square, flawless, square, radiant, square, round, flawless, round, radiant, round, star, flawless, star, radiant, star, which is far more. In Diablo 2, there was chipped, flawed, normal, flawless, and perfect. So that's 6, and you got a lot more in Diablo 3, but actually all the same gems, all 6 of them. Yep, same as D2. Here we get a shot of an indigo rune. Indigo Runestone rank 1. So I mentioned in my last video they can be ranked 1 to 7. So this is obviously very early on in the game. And of course you can add this Indigo Rune to any of your skills and, well, it adds special effects. We see that there will be magical quivers in Diablo 3. When you bought arrows or bolts in Diablo 2, you know, there was absolutely nothing special about it. Now this is a magical quiver in this case, increases attack speed by 2%, but adds like that whole other, you know, piece of customization for the Demon Hunter. So that's all the screenshots. I hope you guys enjoyed going through them with me. I'd seen them, you know, popping up on different forums and, you know, lots of different places on the internet, so I wanted to share them with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys learned something from these screenshots. I definitely did. We got some pretty cool new features that are going to be oh man, it seems like just weeks away until the beta is going to hit. I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too. There's going to be a ton of Diablo 3 footage going up on my channel, youtube.com/HunterStarcraft, and, you know, just stay tuned for that. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos, and if you want, you know,